Hello there. He was considered one of the fathers of German reunification. The last president of the Soviet Union has now passed away. The Russian Nobel Prize winner and former Soviet head of state Mikhail Gorbachev is dead. He died in Moscow on Tuesday evening at the age of 91. Tonight, Mikhail Sergeyevich Gorbachev died after a long and serious illness, said the Central Clinic Hospital in the Russian capital. The world-renowned politician was considered, as I said, one of the fathers of German unity and a pioneer for the end of the Cold War. East Germans in particular still revere Gorby, as they call him, as a statesman who brought them freedom more than 3 decades ago. In the 1980s, under Gorbachev's leadership, the Soviet Union signed groundbreaking nuclear disarmament and arms control treaties with the United States. In his home country, Gorbachev, as General Secretary of the Communist Party, initiated an unprecedented reform process with his policy of glasnost, which means openness, and perestroika, which means restructuring. This brought unprecedented freedom to people in the totalitarian system. In 1990, Gorbachev received the Nobel Peace Prize for his courageous reforms. The political process led to massive upheavals in all republics of the Soviet state and ultimately to the collapse of the communist empire. A large part of the Russian population always saw the former party and state leader as the gravedigger of the Soviet Union and as a politician without an instinct for power. Gorbachev resigned as president of the Soviet Union in 1991 before the state dissolved itself shortly afterwards. The new strongman in Moscow at the time was Russian President Boris Yeltsin. Up until his death, Gorbachev had rendered outstanding services to his own political foundation in Moscow. The organization advocates democratic values and a rapprochement between Russia and the West. Gorbachev wrote numerous books, most recently also about his disappointment with the Germans and the West as a whole. Specifically, he complained that the new enemy images were being drawn against Russia, although images? For health reasons, he did not travel to the celebration markings of the 30th anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall in autumn 2019. He has had to be hospitalized repeatedly over the past few years. The politician was also a co-owner of the newspaper Novaya Gazeta, which is critical of the Kremlin and repeatedly uncovers abuses in Russia. In recent years, Gorbachev has repeatedly asked Kremlin boss Vladimir Putin not to further restrict the freedom of the media and elections. The statesman is buried in Moscow at the new Maidan cemetery for celebrities, next to his wife Raisa. And I'll see you in my next video. I'll be back.